Hey everybody, son, Ghost Waku here, live to rank every WWE SummerSlam 2026 match. We begin with number 12, Fatal Influence versus the Bella Twins in Paige. All right, so when it comes to this match, basically, listen, I think the Bella Twins are good. Paige, awesome. She completely revolutionized the whole WWE to where we are modern day when it comes to the women. And Fatal Influence are definitely on their way up. The heat they got when they debuted, phenomenal. And yeah, they definitely did the right decision having, as you can see in the graphic right there, having Fatal Influence be the ones to go over because they are the upcoming new talent. And I think WWE always should focus on that new talent. So right on right there with that. It was unfortunate this match. Brie Bella got injured early, and I still stand by, like, I think they maybe should have made a pivot because I guess and obviously this whole match, like I said, the match was what it was. It was all right, something you'll see on Raw and SmackDown, but I can't say it stood out as a big all-time SummerSlam classic, that's for sure. But man, this was all about getting towards the end, which was the Bella Twins turning on Paige and the heel turn. And I think most long-term WWE fans could see a whole mile plus away. And so that's what we got here. And so when it came to doing something like that, the whole thing here is you see Brie Bella was holding her shoulder and could only do like little stumps and everything. I wonder if they should have just pivoted and been like, okay, let's not even commit to that finish. Let's first wait until we know for sure Brie Bella is going to be okay. So you could just have Nikki Bella swap Brie out for Nikki. Nikki and Paige will continue being a tag team until Brie gets better. And then once Brie gets back, you have Brie and Nikki do the heel turn. Because I think this is, like I said, possibly setting up to AJ Lee returning and being able to team up with Paige against the Bella Twins, rekindling their whole rivalry from almost over a decade ago, right? About almost 11 years ago, I think that's when they were doing that feud, like during late 2014 to 2015. But unfortunately, that's not what they're going to do. And like I said, I'd rather see Paige in there getting in the ring with the women she hasn't been able to wrestle yet, like Becky, Bayley, if she ends up sticking around, the newer talent like Lyra Valkyria, Bianca Belair when she gets up, Rhea Ripley. But yeah, we'll see where they go with Nikki Bella and them. But yeah, this match, honestly, like I said, it wasn't bad, but it just didn't stand out to me among the next 11 matches on this list. So I had to put it right here at the very bottom as the least match of WWE SummerSlam 2026. All right, number 11. Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin. Hey, I like Trick Williams. I think he is definitely, like I said, when it comes to Oba Femi, one of the second, I think I put him right there at second in terms of the hottest young talents coming up with the audience right under Oba Femi, because like Oba Femi's like up here and I think Trick Williams right next to him, right under him and everything, as far as when you look at popular WWE superstars that have been on the rise this year. And I think the whole thing with Little Yachty's been working good, and Baron Corbin's always been awesome to ring. He's a guy who truly, I think WWE, he's made the most of everything WWE's been able to give him, but the storylines, I just don't think they always really hit to show the best but full potential of what Baron Corbin could do. So when you put Baron Corbin and Trick Williams in the ring, once again, I don't think this match really stood out definitely compared to everything else. It was better than the first match I put on this list, but yeah, Baron Corbin, Trick Williams, I just felt like the story of this match felt more about Little Yachty's involvement, and as you can see with the graphic I use, him going through the table there, that's kind of what it felt like, versus when it came to Baron Corbin and Trick Williams. I don't think this is like gonna, once again, it's not gonna go down as an all-time SummerSlam classic. And like I said, Baron Corbin's had some really awesome matches, but yeah, and then the ending, I was kind of feeling sour on the ending, honestly, as I was saying in my review, because when you look at Trick Williams and how over he is with the audience, and listening to what Triple H was talking about on the post show about, you know, the reactions, it almost like felt like, is it a thing where, okay, we're moving Trick Williams away from the United States Championship picture to move him up to bigger and better things? Well, that's going to depend on where they're going with it, because I don't see they're going to put him in the world title picture right now. That's being occupied by CM Punk. That's being occupied by Kevin Owens, obviously. So, you know, I'm thinking they want to build up Trick Williams some more. So we'll see what they got in store for him. But hopefully this is not a thing where it's like, okay, well, Baron Corbin, in the couple of weeks that he's been back, has proven to be much more of a bigger deal in terms of crowd reaction reactions and everything, so we got to put the title on him and take it off of Trick Williams because it's just not cutting the mustard or anything. Like, hopefully that's not the case, because I mean, you hear those reactions out there, Trick Williams, and I think he's done his fair share in the ring as well too. So we'll see where this ends up going, but yeah, I mean, at least Baron Corbin's getting a renewed push, and this hopefully creates better things for him in WWE than last time, and hopefully, like I said, Trick Williams is not going to be just pushed to the side, the back burner and everything like they've done with Carmelo Hayes. Like, it's crazy. They've done the same exact storyline where they've got him and Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes doing a feud with them based on their history in NXT, and then they just like a couple of weeks before WrestleMania, they just throw Carmelo Hayes to the side, and it's like, what happened here? And then throughout the rest of spring, they're feuding, and I'm like, okay, this is going to culminate in a big SummerSlam match. No, we just throw them aside for a couple of weeks and have Baron Corbin come in, and even Baron Corbin himself said he felt Carmelo Hayes should have been involved in this and everything. So I don't know what's going on here. We'll see. But yeah, overall, I had to put this at number 11. So those are my two matches that didn't make the top 10 list. All right, well, we're going to begin the top 10 list. All right, so number 10, Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio in a Human Monies on a Pole match. All right, I know that honestly, for a lot of people, this had to be their number 12 entry, right? The bottom of the barrel, the least. Like, if you could do a negative 12, this is probably where this is gonna rank. But here's my thing, so hear me out. I thought this made top 10 because, if for nothing else, I was entertained. Like, if I'm remembering my emotion during the match, like I said, with the Fatal Influence and Bella Twins and Paige match, I was kind of sitting there like, and then I'm like, once we get to the heel turn, I'm like, yeah, I saw that coming a long while away. As I was watching the Trick Williams and Baron Corbin match, I was like, yeah, I'm like, okay, this is decent, all right, okay. And then once basically you got to the finish, I'm like, what? They actually took it off? I was flabbergasted by them taking the US title off of Trick Williams. In this match, I actually got a few chuckles. I was mildly sports entertained, if you will, for this. Like, there was some parts where I was like, okay, all right, that's pretty fun. Like, okay, that's pretty cool seeing the mini Danhausens come out and stuff. I know one of them used to be El Torito and stuff, so yeah, I mean, it was fun for what it is. You knew not to take this match coming in seriously. Like I said in my review, anyone who thought this was going to be a wrestling clinic, I mean, I don't know what you're expecting. I mean, like, what in Dan, the way they utilized Danhausen, what in that history would say elsewise? But overall, I thought for what the match was, it was entertaining for what they gave it for. I would love to see Dominic Mysterio used in a much more prominent way. He is the last person to defeat John Cena on a PLE, and they didn't do anything with him. And those are the decisions when you see with WWE, it gets like, man, why are they doing certain things and then not following up with it? Like, what's the point of doing it if you have no plan, no follow-up? Like why? But yeah, I guess this was their plan, and follow-up was to culminate here at SummerSlam, and it is what it is. But I still stand by it when I say I think Danhausen has been absolutely utilized really well by WWE, more than AEW ever did, really capitalizing on him for mainstream attention with what happened with the NBA and the Knicks, from utilizing him as something as like a merchandise machine and stuff. Very well utilized, I think. You got Joe Hendry coming in here for a cameo. So yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, it was entertaining enough, I thought, more than the previous two matches, and I think I'll remember it more than the previous two matches that I talked about on this list. That being said, it's at number 10, and it did not stand out among our next 9 matches. Number 9, The Bloodline versus LA Knight. Yeah, Solo Sikoa and Royce Keys. All right, so this is where we start getting to the actual matches that are memorable from an in-ring standpoint, and I think storytelling standpoint. This match was, fast-paced. You had the Usos doing their great stuff, high-flying. LA Knight was awesome as he is, gets the biggest reaction. They they know LA Knight gets a big reaction because they had the graphic for the meter already ready. It was already right there on screen. So that's them to me acknowledging that they are well aware of LA Knight's response because they knew it was going to be loud. So hopefully a big push will eventually follow in a world title run. That being said, it was cool. Royce Keys looked dominant, but to me, the standout was Solo Sikoa with his face. He was like, and he's like, let's run it back. Let's run it back. And he started doing the whole yeet and everything. And Jey Uso was like, like that was hilarious. And then him making fun of Jacob Fatu's tribute that he does to the Boogeyman when he's all like this. Like Solo Sikoa was the one who stole the show when it came to this match. And it illustrates more of what I've been saying. The bloodline, this whole thing, everyone's outgrown it. Sammy, KO, the Usos, Roman Reigns, like everybody can stand on their own. Like even the Usos, they're a tag team, but I'm like, yeah, let them be a tag team and stuff. Solo Sikoa just naturally comes over. You get more of his charisma, and you saw a lot of that more so when he was doing the whole leader of the MFTs and everything. Like this is where Solo Sikoa clearly excels, and the fans are taking to him. And I hope WWE is patient and they let this run and see where they can go. It is awesome. I think it's awesome, and this is definitely the right direction. And even better in this match, the right people won. The people that actually needed the win more. The Bloodline, of course they're gonna be on TV. You saw Monday Night Raw this past week. Jacob Fatu still getting a lot of stuff. I thought, hey, LA Knight, when he came in on Monday Night Raw, that was pretty funny when he was like, you can't do anything to me. Yeah. And then he looks at Jey Uso, hold up there. You don't want your daddy to come over here and put you over his leg now. And he does that to Jay, and Jay's like, and then LA Knight's, I'll see you fellas later. Yeah. LA Knight was on fire, man. Even especially too how he did the code for you fuck to Roman Reigns. Like, man, like LA Knight, like what else more needs to be said? LA Knight, all around great talent, honestly. But yeah, Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Royce Keys, the three of them definitely needed to win here. I mean, good thing they gave Royce Keys something. You see what they did on him Monday Night Raw the night after? Holy crap, man. Like, wow. The funny thing about that was you had Adam Pearce and everyone come out there, don't you do it, don't you do it. And then Jacob Fatu is like, okay. And he's like, ah! And then they just all scatter like a bunch of cats, basically. If you ever seen that one video where there's a bunch of cats in the room and one guy puts a big cat mask over and he looks over and the cat just scatter in multiple directions. That's what it reminded me of. And they got no paramedics coming out there, just letting the poor guy, Royce Keys, just sit there and bleed out of his mouth and stuff like that. And like, okay, and Roman just comes in to acknowledge him, and then all the fans, they're not even caring about Royce Keys. They're just throwing their ones in the air. Like, wow, man, they really sacrificed Royce Keys, didn't they, to get Jacob Fatu recovered from this loss here. So I mean, at least they gave him something big before the inevitable here, go out there and make Jacob Fatu look really good at the end. Like, wow, okay, so that was something there. But yeah, other than that, yeah, overall, this is, like I said, I thought this match was fun. Once again, not going to be remembered as a SummerSlam classic, but it did absolutely everything it needed to do. And for that, it's good, and definitely I think we're the top 10. All right, so the next match was, oh, here we go. Anyways, yes, number 8, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. All right, a little bit early on the list, honestly, for this one. And yeah, this match, though, overall, I did think it was good. I did. I enjoyed the match. Had a slow burn start as they both filled each other out, and then as the middle, it starts picking up with more speed. A lot of good counters. I thought the way they worked the leg into the with CM Punk and his leg and stuff like that. There's that crazy spot where CM Punk jumps from the top of the ring right into the announce table legs first, and I'm like, oh crap, don't break anything, don't break anything. Yeah, and then from there, they had a lot of shenanigans going on, like with the referee eventually getting knocked out, and Randy Orton making his epic return with the RKO, and the fans are chanting, thank you, Randy. Thank you, Randy. So we got to see Randy Orton. That was great stuff coming back. I thought the psychology in this match was really good. CM Punk, of course, eventually gets the go to sleep on Cody Rhodes and gets the big pinfall victory, retaining the undisputed WWE Championship. And yeah, that'll probably be like the first of their big series of matches. It's like the first time I think they wrestled in WWE in years. Like I said, this is the match. Crazy to think that, man, we could have gotten AEW, but we got here in WWE instead. But honestly, I just wish there was more going into this match storyline wise than what they did, especially doing. I'm glad they did do the babyface dynamic, but yeah, something just felt a little off about this match, and it's one of the reasons, even in the match and the investment that I had as I'm looking at the match, it just didn't quite click for me as the other matches on our list. By no means not a bad match. That's the reason why I got it above all those other matches on this list. But yeah, something about this match was just a little off for me of wanting to put it much further on this list. Not a bad match, a good match, but it just didn't stand out to me as an all-time great match, unfortunately. But I don't think this is gonna be the last time. I definitely want to see Cody Rhodes and CM Punk run it back, and I think that will be much better. I think this will be one of those matches where we're like, yeah, the first one was okay, but the second match was phenomenal. Just like one of my matches coming up at number 2 on this list, where it's like, okay, the previous match was all right, but this second match blew us away, and I think that's where this is gonna go. We'll look back on this match as like, okay, decent first match here in a first time in a long time. But I think that there's huge potential further for this to go. They definitely gave it a lot of time. I think this match was like clocking in like 29 minutes, so they gave it 30 minutes. So it did have one of the longer It was one of the longer matches on there. So I'm looking forward to see where this can go down the road. But it does set up nicely for where we're going when we get to another match early that'll be on this list a little bit further. But overall, yeah, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, I thought it was a really good, solid match that they put on night 1. It was going to originally be the main event, but it didn't turn out to be. Yeah, good solid match, I would say, for CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Number 7, the Ring General Gunther versus Nick Aldis. All right, so you knew things were going to be popping off once Nick Aldis came out to an Oasis song. So, man, they ended up going ahead and going full throttle in terms of licensing music. I don't know if it's going to be on the replays or not. You know, that's something that Tony Khan does a lot. So, yeah, they went all out to make Nick Aldis appear as a big deal here, and it was a big deal. This is his first time in 3 years. Like I said, I haven't heavily followed his career, but I do remember his Magnus and TNA and everything. He had his wife Mickey James and his son there, so that was really awesome. And Gunther, always you can depend on having a great match, and that's what this match was. This was a great pro wrestling match. Everything, the psychology, the timing, the pacing, everything just really worked here really well, to the point that I thought it was actually a little bit better than the CM Punk and Cody Rhodes match. Like, this is good. The crowd energy as well. Like, they were fully into this the whole way through, where they were chanting, you know, you still got it, even though, you know, he's not that far removed from being in the ring, and he's only 39. So, you know, he hasn't really aged out pro wrestling wise yet and stuff like that. So yeah, Nick Aldis, he got in the ring and hadn't missed a step. Hadn't missed a beat, looked phenomenal, and I hope this match right here opens WWE to be like, yeah, we need to get this guy on more PLE matches. This guy needs to wrestle more. Didn't embarrass himself, absolutely not. Nick Aldis looked phenomenal in there, and he went toe-to-toe with the Ring General Gunther, and now you know this guy can go toe-to-toe. It made sense, you know, from an in-ring storyline standpoint, and it made sense that Gunther went over, because you got to justify Gunther being the last opponent of Bill Goldberg, John Cena, AJ Styles. So it made sense that Gunther went over here. I thought thought they were gonna have Nick Aldis pass out, but he didn't. They instead had him tap out and everything. But this did what it needed to do to introduce the WWE audience not familiar much with Nick Aldis and show that, yeah, this guy can actually go as the general manager. And it hopefully, like I said, it shows WWE management that, yeah, this guy is good and we need to get him on more PLE matches. Heck, we need to get this guy on more matches, and I would love to see it. But yeah, what you got out of here was a great pro wrestling match. You know, it's not super fancy, but two guys getting in there, chain wrestling, doing some big slams, some good grapples, a lot of good in-ring psychology. Yeah, this match had it from that standpoint. And yeah, I had, like I said, I had to put it at number 7 for this, and I thought it stood good. So getting a little towards the middle of the card here and everything for it. Yeah, so yeah, really good match. Number 6, Penta versus Chad Gable. All right, so Nick Aldis and Gunther had a great pro wrestling match, and this took great pro wrestling match and upped it even more of a notch, because man, Penta and Chad Gable went out there and they absolutely, I thought, killed it for the time that they were given. They went in there, high flying action, great intense action, like that German suplex you see right there on the screen to the ring apron. You had Chad Gable, they really worked in great counters from when he would fly off the top rope and Penta would grab him by the arms and all that stuff, and really working on the arm there, and the way Chad Gable would work it into countering Penta into the ankle lock. This was great hold for hold action, great high drama with the way they were setting up their counters and psychology in the ring. Just not enough good things I can say about this match, and the emotion everyone behind their hometown hero or home state hero in Minnesota. I think he's from directly from Minneapolis, Minnesota. So yeah, you know, they were behind the hometown boy, and he gets the ankle lock and gets the tap out victory over Penta. That was great. And seeing his family get in the ring and having him with that nice emotional moment, as you can see in the screenshot I got there, it just, so much of this worked on every great level. Great to see Chad Gable getting some big wins, getting that Intercontinental Championship when they already had a big opportunity to do that a couple of years ago at WrestleMania 40 with him versus Gunther, but they chose not. They went in the direction of Sami Zayn. So I'm glad to see Gable get this well-earned moment, and I would hope that, like I said in my review, that this eventually leads to a world title match, him getting the world championship eventually. He's been there for 10 years, so yeah, I definitely want to see more of that going on. So absolutely, this was great, and certainly I thought a huge standout on the entire SummerSlam weekend card. And I should mention, I did mention in my review, they had like the mascot for the root beer come out in the middle of his celebration while he's in there with his heart emotion with his home state, hometown, cheering him on. He's in the ring with his kids, his wife, his parents, and you know, he's got the Intercontinental title. You had an awesome, great way of Penta showing respect, and through all that, they said they had to go ahead and get that sponsorship in there for for the mascot of the root beer. Why they didn't do this beforehand, I don't know why. You know, he's drinking the root beer with it. Yeah, that's quite the placement they chose for that. But beyond that, I don't think it will take away from that heartfelt moment, this great match, and certainly one that I thought was definitely worthy to be higher on this list for sure. And now we will begin our top 5 matches. Number 5, Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green versus Tiffany Stratton versus Lash Legend in an interim WWE Women's Championship ladder match. All right, so this ladder match I thought was fun. It's not going to be the greatest ladder match of all time, but it was still a fun ladder match. Much respect for the risk that these women did take. As I mentioned during my review, had some unforeseen circumstances that came up, so it was kind of distracting. So I was trying to keep an eye on the match as much as possible, and from what I saw, I thought it looked pretty good. I did go back and watch this match for the purposes of this live stream, and I can definitely say my suspicion was right. This was a fun ladder match to watch. So yeah, it looked great. Jade Cargill coming out with her Prince gear, since they were in Minnesota, was great. The baddies are also representing Prince. The crowd reaction, the audience reaction, insane for Chelsea Green. And this is actually what was it, Tiffany Stratton's hometown. She's from Minnesota, and I think she came out representing colors, I think they said, of the Vikings and everything for the football team and stuff like that. So this is good. Lash Legend looked like an absolute beast when she does like that power bomb right on the back to Tiffany Stratton. She bounces off spine first on that ladder. Man, that was phenomenal. I thought that was great. Also, in addition, I thought the way they worked with Charlotte Flair and Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill, the way their intensity was so great and the way it played off in the end of the match where they both hated each other so much they ended up taking each other out of the match. I thought that was great. We got a little tease of Jade Cargill versus Lash Legend, so that was good. You know, the two powerhouse women going at it. I think quickly it was we got mostly Jade Cargill doing a German suplex to Lash Legend. I forget if it was Jade Cargill or Lash Legend. One of them did a scoop slam to Charlotte Flair right on her back, and I was like, oh, that landing looked like it sucked, man. And there's one part in this match where Charlotte Flair is dingling in the ring, hanging and stuff from the top, and it looked like it's a good 15-20 foot drop, and I was like, oh man, I hope they catch her, because the last thing she needs to do is land on them legs, repaired leg. And so she drops, and they quite didn't catch her. She kind of lands feet first, but I think they were able to get her and stop enough of the impact where it didn't re-injure her leg. So I was kind of a little afraid for Charlotte during that match and looking at it, but overall, it worked good for what it was. And then when we get to the part where we get towards like the end, where Chelsea was knocked out because the baddies had jumped her and everything. Like I said, Charlotte, oh yeah, I gotta mention this part of the moment when Chelsea Green pushed the ladder over. I think I got her, pushed the ladder over similar like that. And Tiffany Stratton ends up doing the Swanton bomb onto the other women. That was a great spot. But yeah, how Chelsea was just dangling there upside down, and when everybody's completely wiped out, they zoom in on her face and she's like coming to, and the audience just riling up, getting cheered for her, and then she's like, oh, this is my chance, and she climbs right up and grabs the championship. Phenomenal moment. Absolute phenomenal moment. You see the audience reaction there if you're watching the horizontal version of this. I got the victory pose there with her on the championship, so this is cool. And even better, I love that Michael Cole did announce that this right here for Chelsea Green is indeed an official world title run. Everything she's been through, from coming in from when she came in as like the mistress therapist of Daniel Bryan, aka Bryan Danielson, for Brie Bella, all those years ago. What was it, like almost 12 years ago? And you get to where we are now. Good stuff. Everything she's been through with TNA, all the injuries, coming back and forth and everything. Good stuff, man. I am so glad for Chelsea Green. It was a great feel-good moment. So this is one of those matches where it's like, you know what? It was fun. Like I said, I've heard a lot of people say it wasn't a great all-time ladder match. No, it wasn't. I'll agree with that. But it was still a fun ladder match. These women worked hard. They utilized the ladder, utilized the time they were given, the audience reaction, and all of it, how it culminated to this feel-good moment of Chelsea Green finally becoming the world champion in WWE, even if it's only going to be for a little while, even if they're going to squash her when Rhea Ripley comes back. This is a big moment they'll never be able to take away from her, and I'm so happy to finally see Chelsea get her moment. I mean, shoot, I remember her back on Tough Enough getting cut, and it's like, man, what more does she got to do to make it to WWE? Well, she's finally made it to WWE, and we can now say she's literally on top of the mountain as the WWE Women's World Champion interim, but Women's World Champion nonetheless. Number 4, the Ring General Gunther versus Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn versus the returning Kevin Owens in a fatal 4-way to decide the undisputed #1 contender for the WWE Championship. I got it all mixed up there. I don't even know why they call it undisputed anymore. The #1 contender for the undisputed WWE Championship, because yeah, there's 2 world titles there. But yeah, this is the opening match of night 1, originally supposed to be Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn, which you knew was gonna definitely be a good match, but adding Gunther and especially Kevin Owens after that massive return heroes welcome pop, man, match was just off to a fiery hot start, and everybody looked good in this match. Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Gunther, KO, you know what you're gonna get in there. Nothing short of spectacular. These guys made the most of the time they were given, and I thought the Fatal 4-Way match was fun, especially anytime Kevin Owens got in the offense. Fans were going wild, and when he went on that stunning sprint, that stunning frenzy and stuff, man, good stuff. And Kevin Owens picking up the win. This was great. I enjoyed it. I thought it actually really, from an excitement standpoint, stood out among a lot of the matches, obviously, on this card. It was great fun, and the realization Kevin Owens is back, the emotion of what he's gone through to get back here. Once again, really awesome that he was able to go ahead and shout out Rebel. That was awesome with what she's battling with the ALS and everything. So that was awesome. Everything from Kevin Owens' return to the match to what he said in his post interview, and like I said, giving a shout out to Rebel. Good stuff, man. Good heartfelt emotional stuff there. This worked on so many levels and everything. Just so many levels, and it was good. It's just great to see Kevin Owens back. And now the realization, as I mentioned, Kevin Owens versus CM Punk to build off their history when they were in ROH in the Indies. I know a lot of you who are longtime Kevin Steen fans have been looking forward to this. Those of you who followed him more so since he was Kevin Owens in WWE, like myself, I know, hey, this is something we've always been wanting to see in WWE. So there's so much that works well with this and how it sets up the future for SmackDown. So yeah, a lot of this just really worked very well. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about this one. All right, we get to our top 3 matches of the entire SummerSlam 2026 weekend. Number 3, Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. Now, if I was ranking this among Hell in a Cell matches, this would be very low on the list. When I look at a Hell in a Cell match, the thing that I most look for is how is the Hell in a Cell utilized? Now, I've grown up watching Hell in a Cell since the first or the second one with Mick Foley, and I went back and watched the first one with Shawn Michaels. Of course, Undertaker involved in both of those matches. I'm not some bloodthirsty fan that has to see them flying off top of the cell, going through the cell. No, no, no. In fact, one of my favorite Hell in a Cell matches all the time, they didn't do any of that. That was with the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar at No Mercy 2002, and he also put on a great one at Hell in a Cell 2015. And the thing is, yeah, as a Hell in a Cell match, I don't think this really stood out, honestly, as anything special. Even Brock Lesnar, like I said, those 2 matches he had with the Undertaker, I thought were far better than this as a Hell in a Cell match. Yet I still ranked it very high among the top 3. And that's because if you take the Hell in a Cell away from it and just see it there as it was just there as decoration, if this was just as a no holds barred match, phenomenal. because honestly, I thought in terms of the action we got within Hell in a Cell from these two, this was great, and I thought this stood out among all three of their matches, and that's good because I love their WrestleMania match. It was short, but got right to the point and did what it needed to do. The next match they had at Clash in Italy, well, longer, and I thought it was even better. The ending, I didn't think the ending was necessary. I thought you could have gone the whole route like they did with Batista and Triple H, but still really good. And then this one, even better, and that's great. Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi's matches got better and better and better, and that's what I really enjoyed about this. This was hard hitting, like when he throws Brock Lesnar into the table, into the cell, like the one part where we did get the cell involved, and then you did get the clothesline over the ropes from Oba Femi to Brock Lesnar, and Brock goes right into the back of the steel cage of the cell wall. Those are like the only two times they came in, but the devastating steel chair shots, Oba slamming Brock Lesnar all around, Brock doing the F5, the part where he rips apart the ring just like he did in his 2015 match with the Undertaker in Hell in a Cell, and doing the actual tombstone, good stuff. And then Oba kicks out, and then he pops up and does the fall from grace power bomb to score the 1-2-3 clean on Brock Lesnar. Was good. Would have been looking more spectacular had he done it right there on the exposed wood, but I don't know what happened there and everything, and I know it would have definitely been painful. Maybe he wanted to protect Brock. Who knows exactly what was supposed to go down there, but nonetheless, at the end of the day, this match I think will be always more heavily remembered for the aftermath, because Oba Femi, at least the finish, Oba did what he needed to do. He won, and he got endorsed by Brock Lesnar in a big way. And I did see that yesterday, ESPN, no, was it on ESPN? I don't know if it was on, but it was on the Pat McAfee show and everything. And he basically announced to the world that, yeah, he is officially retired, and he's thankful for everything that that people have supported him. And he said his big message is he was hoping that a lot of kids are looking out there, that despite the fact of how you can more easily promote yourself on social media nowadays, never forget hard work. And I definitely think that was a wonderful message Brock Lesnar gave. And Brock Lesnar, definitely, I don't see how anyone could not say one of the all-time greatest careers in WWE history. We will probably never see anything like Brock Lesnar again in WWE. So man, I've been following his whole career from 2002. Now, will this be in? Who knows? When the Saudi Arabia WrestleMania comes up, if Brock ain't on there, then it's probably done, but we'll see from there. Overall, though, the big thing is this match did what it needed to do. A passing of the torch moment for Oba Femi, just like how The Rock passed the torch to Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2002. Very fitting that Brock Lesnar passes the torch here at SummerSlam 2026, almost a quarter century later, to Oba Femi. So, like I said, this did what it needed to be done, and I thought it was great. I mean, I was very close to making this my number 2 best match of the weekend. That's how much I enjoyed this match. And yeah, it's unfortunate. It feels like sometimes that's what we get with those Hell in a Cell. We haven't gotten it much during Triple H's era of booking, because the Finn Balor versus Edge match at WrestleMania 39 was really good and utilized the cell more. The CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre match utilized the cell more. It was brutal, it was bloody, is exactly what you expect out of Hell in a Cell. This one, like I said, this was a great match that took place inside the Hell in a Cell. So not a very good Hell in a Cell match, but a very good match that took place inside Hell in a Cell, barely utilizing the cell itself. So yeah, it is what it is. This could have easily been a no holds barred match, and they could have called it a day and done the exact same thing. But yeah, this match is going to be very historically remembered. You know, this is matches that you hope years from now you'll be able to look back and be like how they were able to constantly reference The Rock versus Brock Lesnar. This is a match that I hope you can constantly reference for Oba Femi. He got 2 big wins over Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and SummerSlam, so it don't get much bigger than that. Yeah, they had that little blip on the road where he lost to Brock Lesnar, which I don't think was necessary, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. These are the 2 matches that will be most remembered for Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi, and Brock going out of his way to endorse Oba was great stuff. That means something. Triple H has said that Brock worked with Oba several hours, so he really saw a lot in Oba Femi. So yeah, like I said, enough. I can't say enough good things about this match. Once you get past the Hell in a Cell was not even utilized in this match, but it did enough to make the top 3 for me for sure. All right, number 2, Liv Morgan versus IYO SKY. Man, when I tell you that when I was gonna make this ranking list, I did not expect this match to rank so highly on my list. Holy crap. So I thought their match, as I was mentioning earlier in this live stream, I thought their match was okay. I thought it was all right that they had in the Queen of the Ring finals at Night of Champions. But they came back here and were on fire. Holy crap. What an opening match. Man, these two women went at it. IYO SKY proven why she is arguably one of the best in-ring performers, male or female, in WWE. And Liv Morgan, man, you put her out there, look at what she can do. It is a shame. Like we went a whole time, 100 days or whatever it's been, 4 months, right? Almost since Liv Morgan. This was Liv Morgan's first televised match for defending her championship. And we could have been having matches like this throughout this entire reign. So yeah, overall, yeah, these women had great psychology. It was fast, furious action all the way. The way they would counter, like that oblivion to IYO SKY landing on her, looking like she almost spiked her head, but it was actually her doing a backflip, and to Liv Morgan doing the oblivion to score the 1, 2, 3 was good stuff. They did have the shenanigans with the Judgment Day involvement, but actually, I don't think I agree with a lot of people. It didn't take away from the match. I actually thought that choke slam where Rhea Ripley chucked IYO SKY halfway across the ring was insane and stuff, and IYO did awesome, great looking dives as usual and stuff. She did have a few scary ones where she didn't land almost, I don't know if it was last year or this year, I forget. But man, nothing like that here. She did a German suplex. One moment. Sorry, all this talking, had to get that out of my in my throat. But yeah, that German suplex she did to the apron, to the on the outside edge of the ring on the apron, to Liv Morgan, sick stuff, man. Like I said, that finishing sequence was great. There was that part 2 where Liv Morgan does the code breaker from the top rope, and the way IYO SKY sold it completely, like Scott Hall did when he got stunned by Stone Cold at WrestleMania 18. Phenomenal. So much, like, back and forth. This match was phenomenal, and it stood out to everything else. Like, I even thought it was better than the Hell in a Cell match with Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. That was a great passing of the torch moment that match created, and it's going to be historically remembered. But in terms of just action and this match, man, these two women went out there and killed it. Just got SummerSlam 2026 weekend off to a really hot start, and honestly, I thought that this was not just the second best match of the entire weekend, but the best match of night 1 for sure. Holy crap, man. Hats off to both these women. They killed it. I had to put it at number 2 on this list, man. All right, and now we enter the number 1 entry on this list. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Woo! What a match. Because, man, this right here was a masterpiece. An absolute masterpiece in terms of storytelling. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns have always had tremendous chemistry, but this just was like the man. This right here was the cherry on top. Holy crap. the back and forth action, the trash talk, the storytelling, even the opening match. This is very much like the CM Punk and Cody Rhodes match. This started off slow as well, as they had this filling out process, but the story and the way it played out, man, like how Seth Rollins was constantly always one step ahead of Roman Reigns, and the way Roman eventually makes a comeback towards the middle of the match. You had the Attitude Era style brawling. You had the part where I thought was really cool, where Seth Rollins tries to spear Roman through the barricade and he catches him in the guillotine, turns it into a power bomb, and Seth Rollins like, nah, I'm not gonna let you outdo me. I'm gonna power bomb you through the announce table, playing up off to their time in the Shield when they would do the triple power bomb through the announce tables. Good stuff, man. When they get in the ring and they're paying tribute to Jon Moxley, where Seth Rollins does that part where he goes into the rings and repels himself off into the clothesline, and then Roman Reigns comes back with a paradigm shift, aka the Dirty Deeds. Man, this was great. This was awesome. You had so many near falls. Oh, I remember my review. I thought the near falls in this match was insane. How they were able to master those kickouts at 2 seconds, 0.99%. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. And the audience was fully invested. The audience reaction, man, you didn't know when it was gonna win, where it was gonna go. You had Roman and Seth doing each other's moves, the curb stomps, the spears, man. It was just great, and they kept playing it up like there's gonna be interference, but there was none. When the referee Charles Robinson gets knocked out, like, how's this gonna end? And one of the most powerful parts of the whole match, when Roman got that steel chair up and he wants to whack Seth Rollins, but he has that moment where he's like, no, he said, I gotta do this. We're gonna do this one-on-one. And that was his way of letting it go and just basically like, let go of the past. Let's do this the right way. And eventually Roman gets that spear on Seth Rollins and gets the 1, 2, 3 to finally bring true closure to this whole 14-year storyline with him and Seth Rollins, closure to that whole 12-year thing with the chair, and the way at the end Roman gives respect, putting the fists out, and then after he puts the fists out and everything, and then from there Seth puts his fist out and they do the Shield, and they put the mask down there, which I heard is something that Vince McMahon was not a fan of those masks, but they put it down because Vince is not there anymore for working as the creative in WWE, and you know, kind of like representing Jon Moxley, who's in AEW now. I thought that was great. Everything worked well with this. This is like as perfect of a match you can get. Nothing is perfect in life, not even matches. And this match definitely wasn't perfect, but it was, I thought, as perfect from a storytelling standpoint as you can get. I cannot say a great deal about these matches. Just like Roman Reigns stole the show with CM Punk, and I made it my #1 match of WrestleMania 42, I had to make this the #1 match. No match got me fully invested. No match I thought stood out on this card more than this match. What a banger, and it was clean, and man, this is great. And I'm hoping Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns never have another match again, because this was a masterpiece. This is a great ending, beautiful storybook ending. This is the way you do it. Finale, let this be it, man, because like I said, these guys have always had great matches. I love their match at Money in the Bank 2016 when Seth Rollins got the clean win over Roman Reigns, and then Jon Moxley as Dean Ambrose cashed in. We got that part where all 3 Shield members were the champions in one night. I thought their triple threat match, the Shield triple threat match at Battleground 2026, was phenomenal. I thought Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns had a great match at Royal Rumble 2022. Even though they'd had the DQ finish, the match still worked really well. And I thought their triple threat match last year at WrestleMania 41. Oh man, phenomenal with CM Punk in there. Like, these guys always put on bangers, whether it's with each other or you add a third man to the mix in their triple threat with someone like Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, or CM Punk. They always deliver, but this, I thought, delivered more than any other match they've ever had, and it was enough to stand out to me as not just the #1 match of this list, obviously, but yeah, it's both the #1 match of the entire WWE SummerSlam 2026 weekend. for sure. Phenomenal, absolutely. Overall, I thought SummerSlam 2026 was phenomenal. Night 1 a little bit better than night 2. Night 2 I thought kind of got taken down a little bit because of the United States Championship outcome, and I didn't think the match stood out as much, as well as the human monies on a pole match. But they weren't bad matches, and there were no bad matches at all on this entire weekend. We had either solid to good matches to even great matches, and I think that overall worked really well in its favor to make SummerSlam 2026 a memorable one. Definitely a really good SummerSlam that I think I'm going to remember, especially that main event that we got night 1, those career defining moments that we got where Oba Femi, Chelsea Green, Chad Gable. So yeah, a lot of good stuff on this SummerSlam that we'll remember. Kevin Owens' epic return. So yeah, definitely a really great SummerSlam overall, I felt. All right, that being said, guys, you can follow more of my WWE content if you want a more, in fact, if you want a more in-depth analysis of the event. Check out my review right there on the screen, or check out in the pinned comment below, along with the description and pinned comment, also having all of my social media platforms. Until next time, guys, take care.